Let's take this motherfucker live.
Hi, everyone. I'm Matt Reefer. You might remember me from such radio shows as Where Did My Beer Go? Beer, the only beverage needed, and the Mr. Producer Show. I'm here to tell you about a wonderful app available for most smartphones. It's called TuneIn. This app allows you to listen to over 60,000 different AM, FM, and internet radio stations such as Radio Fubar. You can download the app in your app store for free or go to tunein.com. You can download the app in your app store for free or go to tunein.com. TuneIn allows you to listen to our insanity anywhere.
Welcome to Honey Radio. This is episode number 18. I am Kat. I am the head honey. And I have here with me my good friend Lisa, who's our guest honey. Say hello, Lisa.
Hello.
And Linnie the Revenge Honey is here, but Linnie the Revenge Honey has lost her voice and cannot say hello, so I'm saying hello on her behalf. She's here manning the chat room because we are live on Radio Fubar. Okay, so our guest tonight isn't so much a special guest as he's our special friend. Don Thacker is the creator of Imagos Films, and I would basically credit him for getting the Honeys recognized in the format that we actually wanted to be recognized in, because we watched his film, The Zombie Honey and I, just our twosies running around being idiots at Crypticon last year. We watched his film, Motivational Growth, and he found us afterwards and said we were awesome, and we believed him. So we're welcoming Don. So hello, Don.
Hello, and you are awesome.
Aw, thanks. I'm super stoked that you're here with us tonight, and you're calling in from, where are you right now?
I'm in Boston. I'm in, like, regular Boston, I think. There's, like, a South Boston and an East Boston, but I think I'm just in, like, regular standard Boston. They're all kind of weird. But, yeah, Boston. I'm in Boston. I was at PAX East 2014 doing a game, movie, thingy-doodle thing that I do.
Now, what is the game, movie, thingy-doodle? I keep seeing you posting about it on Twitter.
So we're doing a thing called
Project Penis?
Project Penis with an M. It's an M. It's not an N. It's Project Penis. I was putting Project Penis. Who would do that?
That's just me and my Freudian typos.
Yes, yeah. I didn't. There was no typo. No, Project Penis is actually, it's a funny name for the PAX East Mobile Indie Showcase. PEMIS. It just sounded great. We were doing a small documentary on the indie game dev experience in going from one's mom's basement to PAX East, which sounds condescending which sounds condescending and weird until you realize that I started programming in my mom's basement. So that's not really an insult at all. Hold on, I have trucks or buses or something. Okay, cool. So anyway, we're here filming that and also meeting up with a bunch of game devs for whom we've done commercials. We actually do commercial spots for game devs. We did a commercial for Jazz Punk. We're in post-production on 2 other Adult Swim games commercials. We've got a commercial for Rocket Cat Games that is going to be coming out pretty soon. It's a zombie commercial, so that's cool.
Sweet.
Got zombies in it, and lots of screaming and blood and all the kinds of stuff that you'd expect. But yeah, we do commercials, live action commercials. We did 2. You guys will be interested in the 2 live action spots for Frictional Games' new upcoming horror game Soma. We did the live-action spots for those, and I think a little bit later in the show we'll be talking about a super secret project that we're doing that also involves fictional games and Soma and horror and awesome. So
excellent. I love super secret plans.
Yeah, so I'm out here kind of repping Imagos and running around with Rocket Cat Games and another awesome game company called Robot Loves Kitty, for whom I also made a trailer. So it's been pretty great. It's been a cool experience. It's I think it's like my 9th or 10th PAX, so it's not like a new experience, but it's definitely a cool one. And every year it just gets bigger. Next year they're gonna take over New England. It'll just be PAX New England. They'll just own everything. Not really, no. I mean, I would hope that, but no. When I first came, the first PAX East was like 1/4 of the convention center, and it's slowly been taking over. And this year it's like the whole of the Boston Convention Center, so it's pretty awesome.
That's a really nice change. It's so sad to go to conventions and have it be like 2 rooms of awkwardness.
Oh my God! I went to the Golden Demon at God, my brain just froze. I'm sorry, I'm literally walking down a bridge right now. So my brain is all over the place. I went to game days for Games Workshop to play Warhammer 40K. When I was younger, that was the coolest thing ever. And game days was the best. There's a billion people, and they're all nerds, and they're all playing little miniature strategy games and having painting competitions, and just mind-blowing. And I was so excited. And I went back like 2 years ago, and it was just like the shit little corner of a convention center in a hotel, and like 17 fat dudes playing little games, and it was the worst thing ever. And I felt really bad, especially since it was like, one day I'll have the perfect orc army and I'll play against all these people at game days. And then I'm now like 34, and I finally had enough time and money to accrue the perfect orc army, and nobody cares. It's the worst. Am I holding for applause right now? So yeah, that's what I'm doing in Boston, talking about random stuff.
Oh.
I think the show's supposed to be an hour. They tend to be like 5, though.
No, I'll keep it.
I did a Q&A at the Northwest Film Forum's Local Sightings Film Festival about motivational growth. The film started at midnight. It was like the midnight showing, which I'm sure you guys will know
is
as
the
a
one
party.
that you were there for.
What, did I talk for 5 hours?
No, but I know we went and got bacon at 4 a.m.
Yes, that's the one. I think.
Yeah, you talked
totally.
like
Yeah,
2 hours.
I did. I talked. We got out at like 3:30 or something.
Yeah.
I talked forever. It was amazing. Not that I was talking, but that people stayed. That was pretty amazing. And yeah, we went and got bacon at like 1:00,000 in the morning. The sun came up with bacon. It was brilliant.
Amazing. The poor chick in the restaurant was like, "Get the fuck out."
And I was like, "Lady, shut up! I need bacon, and I need it right now."
Exactly.
Yeah.
We needed that bacon.
So.
We needed the fuck out of that bacon.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh yeah.
So let's move right along.
Let's do
I'm
it.
stoked that you're calling in from Boston. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah,
I love guests that call in from different places. So I'm going to start off with questions from a honey who is not here, our Sci-Fi Honey, who also watched the film. So everyone who has questions has watched the film because it's awesome, and I made them do it. Who are your biggest influence as a filmmaker? She got some David Lynch, some Aronofsky, more black comedy kind of stuff thrown in. Where do you start when you're like, this is who I would love to make films like?
Okay, that's a very difficult question because I have to ride this line between like arty auteur dickbag and like just guy who grew up watching movies. I don't want to say this is the auteur dickbag part. Like, I'm not influenced by anyone in particular. You're just seeing Don Thacker. That's not a thing. The truth is, I don't sit down and write like, oh man, this is going to be a thing that's going to remind me of a thing, and it's going to be, oh, remember that part in this movie? Like, I don't do that. So I don't know what the thing is outside of like ambient influence. I grew up in the 80s and 90s. I watched a shit ton of David Lynch movies, a shit ton of David Garbage, a shit ton of all the what you'd expect if you're a horror fan. If you're a horror sci-fi fan, all of them. Everything from Ridley Scott to just everything. Like everything you would expect. So I really think that I just grew up with that. Somebody kept saying, this reminds me of Frank Henenlotter. This is a very Frank Henenlotter movie. And this is the most embarrassing thing I'm going to say on the radio right now. I didn't know who Frank Henenlotter was. Stop, don't laugh. It's terrible.
Sorry,
listen, I had gone at the in Sheffield, England, there was a Sheffield Celluloid Screams Film Festival. The film that opened the film festival was Don Thacker's Motivational Growth. The film immediately to follow was Henenlotter's Frankenhooker, and it was because it was like a Frank Henenlotter night, and I was like, wait, what? I don't even know who this guy is. And then somebody was like, oh, he was the dude who did Basket Case, and I was like, well, holy shit, I watched that movie 900. So motivational growth, they're like, oh man, this is super Henenlotter. Well, I didn't even know. I just wrote something that I found interesting and fun and entertaining, and it has to be. And I think anybody who says otherwise is full. It has to be that you're influenced by the things that you loved when you were younger, right? I mean, if you like something, it's not random that I just happen to love like 8-bit and 16-bit graphic aesthetic. No, I grew up with that. That's what I grew up with. That's what I love. You know, my mom likes watching classic movies. My mom watching everything. But she also really digs like movies that she saw when she was younger, because that's what we do, right? So of course I'm influenced by like all of those guys. I mean, David Lynch, I didn't even know anything about David Lynch. I didn't know who. I just every once in a while I'd see the creepy ass movie and then his name would be at the end of it. That's cool. David Cronenberg I was mad into, but I didn't even realize that all of the movies that were Cronenberg movies were Cronenberg movies. They were just movies, and they were really cool. Remember Scanners? That's awesome. Oh, my God. Remember Videodrome? Like, holy shit.
I saw Scanners last night, so yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's a good movie. That's such a good movie. So to say that I'm influenced by those films, yes, of course, absolutely, totally. To say that I was directly at any point thinking, you know what, though? TV, so Videodrome. That never happened. And I get a lot of people going, yeah, man, Cronenberg. I'm like, well, why was it Cronenberg to you? And they're like, well, you know, the TV. Like, so you're telling me there's a fucking television in my movie, and that makes it a David Cronenberg movie? Because there's a fucking television? Like, yeah, okay, I have to admit, at some point somewhere in the back of my brain, I was probably thinking, you know what I need? Like a console TV. That's like a big, if you're going to talk to a television, it should be this big wooden console. And it's got to be, I was 12 years old and I saw Videodrome, and he's like sticking his tongue in a television. I guess a guy sticks his tongue in a television in my movie, huh?
Yeah.
He doesn't like suck his dick or whatever. So, yeah, no, I whatever you think, whatever it looks like to you is probably who influenced me. Unless it's some like hoity-toity pompous dickbag auteur artist who like likes to shoot wheat for 20 minutes. It's not that guy. If it's got stuff throwing up and like exploding and like robots in it, he probably influenced the shit out of me.
I like that. I think that makes it very, very eclectic as far as who will like the movie. It's like, if you like movies, you will like this movie.
Yeah, I mean, I would never say that, but you said it, and I'll definitely repeat it.
That's cool. You can quote me.
I will quote you on that.
That's totally fine. Put it on the poster, man.
Yeah.
So I guess before we go any farther into motivational growth, can you give us a brief for you synopsis of what motivational growth is about?
I can give you the elevator pitch. I think you got it sold. It's Jeffrey Combs as a large talking chunk of fungus. Done. Sold. There are tits in it, and a guy throws up a lot. Okay, no. So, motivational growth is it's a story of compassion and love and depression and sadness and life, and it's really an exploration of what it means to be a human being. It's a film about a guy who attempts suicide because he's shitty at everything, and he's so shitty at everything, and he's shitty even at that, and wakes up to find himself face to face with a large chunk of fungus that's been growing in his dilapidated apartment over the last 16 to 18 to however many months he's been there. This chunk of fungus speaks to him with Jeffrey Combs' voice. You'll notice that I will repeat. And tries to get his life back together. He is the titular motivational growth. However, as happens in films with a 3-act structure, the mold is not all he might appear to be, and may have untoward goals, perhaps like eating the girl next door. I mean, does that sound like a fair synopsis?
Yes, I think that sounds fabulous.
Good.
Absolutely fabulous. Okay, Lisa.
Yeah.
My dear, I'm going to turn it over to you for some questions, if you has any.
Well, yes, I have quite a few questions.
Good girl.
I have quite a few words.
I know you do. I was curious, do you run in the morning, or do you drink a lot of coffee, or you're just really naturally excited?
I'm going to die. Lisa, you're going to die too. That's the problem. Like, at some point in your life, you're like, oh, shit, it's going to end, and you've got to get it all done right now, or we're all going. I mean, I'm 34. I'm halfway there. I'm going to die. I need help. I need to make a thing happen, and I need to make it happen now, so I'm not going to stop. Sleep is for assholes. Getting, like, rest, that's for losers who got to the end and were like, well, I did 4 of the 30 things I needed. I've got 30 treatments for films. If I want to, like, I have to make a film a year every year, and I didn't make a film last year, so I'm already behind the curve.
Oh, we should get that on a T-shirt. This is for assholes.
I love Dawn because we have the same philosophy about this shit.
Okay, so Dawn, can you please, in your wonderful, charming way, explain to me why it was mold? It had to be mold.
Oh no, and we lost him.
No.
I'm going to call him right back. Oh, no, he's back.
You guys hear me?
He's back.
Oh, thank goodness.
Okay, where did you leave me? I'm sorry, we're in Boston, and I guess that means terrible reception. Where did you live? I said I've got 30 treatments, and statistically 30 years left of my life, and I need to make a movie a year, and I didn't make a movie last year, so I'm already behind the curve. It's terrible.
Okay, Lisa, go again.
Yeah. Okay, we're all good?
Yes, we're fine.
I would just love to know why. I would like for you to explain why it had to be mold and not everything else that Ian called it, because he was very upset every time he was not referred to as mold.
The mold?
Yeah, yes, sir, the mold.
A control mechanism. It's a Stockholm Syndrome-like control mechanism. He would not refer to Ian by Ian's name, and he needed his name to be referred to correctly. It's just a control device. It's a way that manipulators manipulate. It's something to make Ian feel automatically off kilter, whether he's happy or sad or angry or whatever.
Okay. And then what? Okay. And then the thing that the mold regurgitated for him to eat. What precisely was that?
What?
What was it?
The thing that he regurgitated for him to eat?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Because do you mean the thing that Ian regurgitated?
No, the thing that the mold regurgitated.
The mold never threw anything up. The mold definitely stuck a thing out of the ground, kind of like a penis-looking mushroom thing. Is that what you're talking about?
Maybe that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. At one point, the mold.
I'm sorry. Keep going.
At one point, the mold. So here's the thing: the mold only eats one thing in the entire film, outside of the girl next door, right. Which happens. But the mold actually only eats one thing. And he never. Actually, that kind of throws up in the movie at some point, and it's because of the way the mold functions. Everything is incoming. Like he'll give you a piece of him only if he can get it back. So the thing he presents to Ian, this like fungal thing, is meant to be like a transport mechanism for Ian. So Ian eats it and becomes closer to the mold. Now, if you're asking me in real life what it was made out of gelatin and like honey water and like this piece of honeycomb in the middle, and it was really, really tasty. And they made 6 of them. We only used 1 of them, and I ate all of the other ones.
I did actually want to know both of those answers. Thank you.
You got them both.
Because it kind of looks strangely delicious.
It was so good. It was super honey and tasty and wonderful. And everybody, it's funny watching people. It's like he'll bite into it and it sprays everywhere. And they're like, oh, that's so gross. And I'm thinking, man, I could go for one of those right now. It's like those old like fruit gushers or whatever.
Fruit gushers.
Oh, fungal gushers. There's your next project.
Yeah.
That could go really wrong really fast. Never mind. Don't do that.
Why is the television name Kent?
Do you want okay, so I do this thing in my Q&As where I talk about the A answer and the B answer. Like the A answer is what goes on the DVD thing. Like there are 2 tracks on the DVD that may or may not come out. There's going to be 2 tracks. There's like the A track, which is the track where I talk about like I'm all arty and like I knew all along and everything was fucking great and I'm such the best filmmaker or whatever. And then there's the B track, which is like the reality track. The A track would be, well, Kent is a strong name. It sounds big. It sounds sort of neutral, except that it's rooted in these big words, these big like hard sounding words. And I wanted this oaken thing to sound like Kent, this big. So the truth is. So that's the A one. The B. It's do you remember Real Genius? The film Real Genius?
Oh yeah.
With Val Kilmer.
Yep.
Yeah, that movie is a huge influence in like my entire life. In Motivational Growth, Ian wears a pixelated I Heart Toxic Waste shirt. That's something Chris Knight from Real Genius wears, and I love I Heart Toxic Waste. Yeah.
I did notice that.
Kent is the name of the bad guy.
It is.
Yeah. And there's this one moment where his teeth are talking to him. They're talking through this microphone, like wired into his teeth. Right. They're like, "This is God, Kent. Stop masturbating, Kent." Like that sort of thing. So I was just like, Kent sounds like a really cool name. if I want to make a callback and like a bunch of references all packed in there, and you can figure them out if you want. The thing is, that movie is 104 minutes long. Every single minute is packed full of references that nobody will ever get, and everybody will be just saying, oh man, that movie doesn't make any sense, and it doesn't go anywhere. But if you just like sit down for a minute and pay close attention to it, I didn't have enough budget to like explode everything. So I needed to like pack it full of stuff for like really ardent watchers who were really excited. So those people they made with the mold on them. Those cool people. That's film 4. You look at the movie and you're like, well, not enough shit blew up in the first 10 minutes. And it's not for you. I'm sorry. I didn't have the money. That's not to say that make a giant robots punching other giant robots movie. Give me the money for it. I'll do that. But for this, I had no money. So I needed to make something. I say no money. I had a lot of money. I had a house worth of money. I had a nice house worth of money. But in film terms, that's like no money. That's a shocking thing for an independent developer, for an independent film maker, for a person who doesn't know anything about making movies. Really, when you're not just sitting in a bank account, just staring at you, and you're like, Dad, you could buy the moon. No, you could buy like 28 days of a production if you get shitty cheap lunches. Like, I mean, like that's if you build only one set. If you get shitty cameras that you have to do really, really hard work on, and get good people to man. Oh, yeah, that's why the TV is named Kent, because that was named Kent.
I like the B answer much better than the A answer. Okay, one more.
Shoot.
The deaf yoga class, where...
Wait, I can't hear you. There's a Boston happening, everyone. Just a standby for Boston. Oh, man. Hold on. That guy just Bostoned out. All right, hook me up with your question.
The deaf yoga, how do you deal with that?
I'm sorry. That's very hard. Did we lose somebody? Are we good?
No, we're fine. She's asking about the deaf yoga, so it's quite ironic that you're like, I can't hear you.
Yeah.
Oh. So it's funny because she's asking deaf yoga. Okay, so why did I talk about deaf yoga?
Yes, please.
Downward facing DAWG deaf yoga? Downward facing dog? Okay, check it out. This is the truth. It's going to sound so funny because it sounds so cheesy, right? But everything that happens on the television, this is going to sound so dark and weird. It's a giant religious allegory, all of it. Everything that happens. Look, if you watch shit TV, they're all something that's pulled out of different nations, different cultures, religious beliefs about death. And deaf yoga is based on this art of death yoga, DEATH yoga, wherein like the ultimate yogi will get into the final form and just like stop his own heart and like reach enlightenment through death. So it was like, cool thing. How do I call that out in a shitty 90s television show?
Oh, God.
So that's the answer.
Holy shit.
That's crazy.
Are you guys rapidly getting like super drunk or something?
No.
Okay. I have no visual, so I don't know what's happening over there.
I think you're super goddamn hilarious, so it's just, I'm just killing myself.
Cool.
So another question from Katie, who is absent. She was very interested in the animation, but also in the puppetry involved with the mold itself. Like,
okay, so
designing the mold and working with puppeteers.
So we're talking about the actual, the physical, and we're talking about the animatronic itself.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Not the cartoon bits in the film.
No, we'll talk about this in a little bit.
Okay, so the animatronic puppet was made by a company called Tolan Effects in Pittsburgh, head by a guy named Steve Tolan, who is amazing. And I pitched him an idea, and he's like, sure, dude, we should do it. And he got all together the right people to do it, and they worked out a 12-mechanism animatronic that took 3 people to puppeteer, both hands, each hand having multiple mechanism controls, and then they worked hard together as a puppeteering team to make the thing work. As far as how we designed it is, I had kind of a general idea, because like my idea, my stupid filmmaker. And here's the trick. I'm a director, like a film director, but I'm not like a fucking auteur. I'm not like the guy who's like, yes, it is my vision, it's the weight of the composition. Like, I care about composition, but that's all trade stuff. Like, once you understand, like, composition and you understand, and I'm not saying I'm anywhere near fully understanding. I don't think anybody is. I think you spend your whole life getting that. But as far as how I feel, I didn't make that movie. A bunch of really great artists made that movie. What I do, I don't I'm wrong, right? Like, the guy who thinks he can make it on it, that guy's an asshole. I need artists. I need artists who are way better than me. So when we designed the apartment, I drew what I thought the layout should look like, and my production designer was like, kind of cool, but did you imagine this, or how do you consider you realize that the time period, this is cool, doing base general ideas, and then drove the art from there. I didn't actually do all the art, right? The same with the mold. I came up with a general idea. I didn't know where it was going to fit in the bathroom because we didn't design the bathroom yet, and the mold actually occupies a very specific place in the bathroom. But I knew he had to be up against a cupboard or near a cupboard so that the cupboard could do the cupboard thing later. And I knew that it needed to have some sort of protrudence, and I loved the idea that it has eyebrows but no eyes. I didn't want eyes. You should never be able to look at the face and understand it. And if it were to be completely inert, you'd have to not be able to know that thing could talk. So I got with Steve, and we came up with this sort of triangular idea, that kind of like, pound, like a mound of a triangular outer cut in the bathroom. That was kind of our concept. And he kind of just went crazy, and he came in kinds of designs, fuzzy designs and orange designs, and he did all the fungal research and came up with a bunch of stuff. I had done a bunch myself and kind of pointed him in a couple of directions, and then we kind of settled on a stand. And the thing we settled on, he just delivered perfectly. They worked so well. Their team was so good. Their team was actually 3 really great people. It was Steve Tolan himself, Midian Crosby, who is an amazing special effects artist in her own right. She runs Monster Makeup Effects in Colorado. And Jeff Waltrosky, who's now in Francisco, who's an amazing filmmaker. So I've been editing. I work with where some the dailies or watch any of the unedited footage. There's a beep, so they have like a half second between this beep and when they're supposed to say their line. And Steve Tolan is actually picking which lines at which time. So a live production of this fungus. It was talking directly back to the guy. There would be a beep, and through speakers in the set, you'd hear the mold talk. So the mold was everywhere, talking all the time. So it was a really neat experience. They did so well. By the time they got into like shooting the mold stuff like daily, they could wing it. They could talk from behind. The set that they're in, the bathroom is actually 4.5 feet above ground, so they could fit in this little cubby on. And while they're cubby and I'm giving direction to the mold and tears, I'm talking to a fungus, and the fungus is responding to me. He's actually talking back to me. Like, it's really funny because it's like I have 2 actors. I have Adrian DiGiovanni, who plays Ian, and I've got the mold, and they're both. I'm giving them. I'm saying, you lean in closer, and then mold, then you do this, and the mold's like, sure, boss, and it's like talking with Jeff's voice or something. It's really funny. But, yeah, they were amazing. It got to be that they kind of just lived under there. They also were responsible, that team was responsible for every single practical special effect and makeup effect in the movie. So they brought it. They brought the whole movie. That movie would not be perfect and amazing and wonderful if it were not for them.
Oh, I think that's the best answer I think I've ever heard in a very short amount of time. So I'm going to ask some questions for Linnie because she is voiceless but still present.
Okay.
I would like to know that Jeffrey Combs mold because she'd be into that. And what I'm going to interpret from that is that she wants to know what kind of a mental state got into this point that the mold happened.
Wait. Say this again. I'm sorry. It's right during the question.
Damn it. What kind of mental state is Ian in to make this mold appear, and what is it about this mold that he needs so much in his life?
Okay. Well, I don't want to give too much because the movie is a layered movie, and you're supposed to watch it more than once so as to, like, figure it out. It's a puzzle movie for you. It does have an answer, and it's not crazy, and it's not hard to get your mind around, but it does require more than watching, and I did that because I want to sell it. So you see it in the theater or the festival or on Netflix or whatever, and you like it and have to watch it again or buy it on DVD. So that's kind of a thing. So I can't give away exactly what's going on with Ian because that's kind of the whole point of the movie, figuring out what's going on with Ian. Mm-hmm. But I can tell you something.
Good.
And this will give you something to hold on to. So, did you know that we are, some biologists believe that we are living inside of a giant macroorganism? There's this type of fungus, this aspergillus fungus, that is everywhere. It's literally everywhere. It's in the water. It's in the atmosphere. It's in the upper stratosphere. It's fucking everywhere. And when you take your first breath, or as the mold points out in the movie, your first vital breath, which is also the directly translated Hebrew term for soul, mm-hmm. When you take your first vital breath, you breathe in this mold, and it sets your internal flora. Now, there's a bunch of other shit you breathe in too, but this mold's always there. If you were born on X day in X place and somebody else is born on Y day in Y place, your internal flora are totally different because you're inhaling different stuff when you're born. It can generally be similar, but it can be so dissimilar that if you were born in India and you were born in Ohio, it's going to be hard to live in each other's places without massive medication and some getting used to. And that's because of the internal flora. That's because of this fungus. This fungus is everywhere. When you cut yourself and you get infected, you're not being infected by the bacteria that you are directly causing the infection. You're getting infected because this aspergillus has broken down cell structure to produce sugars that this bacteria is eating. So this fungus is literally everywhere, and we live it and breathe it and drink it and talk it, and we have sex. It's in there with us. It's crazy. And I wanted to point out that when you die, this fungus begins to eat you instantly. The second you die, you're being devoured by this fungus. So that's a thing.
I love that. I love that a lot. I don't know. But I'm very interested in mortality, and I think that's absolutely disgusting and awful that that's brewing inside us, but it's also quite beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, I'd like to point out, without it, you would just die. Mm-hmm. They're finding that there are two major reasons you can't get to Mars. The first into a sphere that you're rot from the inside because the stuff's not there taking care of you, and it really does take care of you. So it takes care of you, and then when it's done with you, it doesn't it?
It does. Something that's, when mother has their young. Damn it, Dawn. Is everybody else still there?
Yeah.
Okay, good. He's just yerging at me. Okay, let me add him back in.
Hi, guys.
Hi. There we go.
Yes. I don't know where that ended, but I want to be right. I hope it was good.
So I'm going to go back through into Linnie's questions. The animation section. How hands-on you were with the animation.
All right, ask the question again. I'm sorry. This is the...
Okay. How are you with the animation?
Oh, man, I'm hearing only...
Damn it. And we lost Lisa. How hands-on
are you guys
animation?
Hearing me? Okay.
What's that?
Oh, okay, cool. I heard it. I got it. You can hear me right. Yeah, you can hear me all right? Okay, so I'm going to stand right here and not move.
Okay.
There's a director of animation, the actual 16-bit animation. His name is Jérémy Perrin. He's in Paris. He did Trucker's Delight. Look that up on the internet. You'll love it. He did Fantasy by Flares, which is amazing. Not by Flares. Sorry, whatever. Look him up. You'll find him. He's great. He did a bunch of cool stuff. That is actually for a video game called Star Mazer, which is a game we're going to be kickstarting in May. So that's a whole real thing. Can you still hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. So How hands-on was I? I was hands-on in that I wrote the scripts, I sent it off, I gave him all kinds of reference videos and all kinds of, like, this is the game I want it to look like, this is this is the style I'm looking for, whatever. And then he gave me an animatic. I guess this is kind of standard process. He gave me an animatic, and I was like, yes, do this, or no, change this part of the animatic. And then he gave me another animatic, and then I said, go ahead and animate. And he animated it, and he did an amazing job. He and his team, they went through, I don't know, countless hours of drawing, and it was awesome.
Because I know for myself, the opening sequence is one of my favorite things. It just brought back all these like Sega Genesis memories, and I loved it.
Totally. It's I'm actually a huge TurboGrafx-16 fan, so it's meant to be in the same color space and sound space as the TurboGrafx-16.
That's awesome. So what are your long-term hopes for Motivational Growth? Can you see it as a cult favorite, or are you hoping for more of a studio mainstream kind of thing?
Well, it was never meant to be studio or mainstream. I mean, every filmmaker, no matter how hoity-toity he might say, he is would be totally okay a studio paying him a bunch of money for his feature. That's fine. But the idea was always that it was meant to be like an arty film for art houses. It doesn't mean cult film. I don't think you actually make a cult film. I think that's ridiculous. Hold on one second. I think a member of my party is coming to get my credit card. Okay. I'm alive. Sorry, guys. I was just checked in on. That's amazing. So, I was asked at the Buffalo Dreams Film Festival, which was originally the Buffalo Screams Film Festival. I was asked, an audience member, I won the Best Cult Film Award, which I found I was honored because, wow, that to be called a cult film was really cool because I grew up on cult films, but I didn't expect my film to be a cult film. I expected it to be a film. I expected to do the best I could as a film, and I've always thought that what makes a cult film is the cult, like a bunch of people who really like the film. So for my film to be a cult film, it has to be a film a bunch of people really like. So I always get this weird, like, hey, do you want it to be a cult film? Did you expect it to be a cult film kind of thing? And I didn't. We've been to 33 festivals and won 27 awards, I think. Oh, no, 30 awards. Sorry, I was really pompous.
No, it's fucking amazing, dude.
15 of them were, Best of Fest, and it's all really cool and exciting. But the truth is, I expected to get into 4 festivals and get grand award. So really excited to happen. As far as it being a cult film, if there's a cult for it, I would stand in honor that my film was called that. I would be so proud. But I did intend just to make a good movie for people who like movies. That's pretty much what I wanted to make. So if you like it, and you band together with a bunch of people who like it, and you watch it at midnight at an art house, or you organize screenings of it, or that kind of thing, then yes, I've made an awesome cult film, and it's the best. But if you just watch it, I don't know. As far as distribution goes, we've got everything signed. It's all happening. I can't give you a date yet. I've been told the date yet. But it's happening in August. I tell you that. So there's something happening in August all over the place. And some of the venues are pretty new. For instance, there are some game-only venues that are going to be hosting my as a download. Some music-only venues that are going to be hosting my film as a download as well, and you are going to be getting it on optical media, which is your DVDs and your Blu-rays and all that kind of stuff, if you want it. That's all happening. And I'd like to point out that my optical media is all being presented by a Canadian company, so go Canada. Yay! Big ups to the one like America North.
We'd like to think of ourselves as America's hat. Thank you so much.
America's hat. Yeah, I've heard that before. I do not agree with Canada's honor. I almost got hypothermia in Canada. Well, I got hypothermia. 2 hypothermia symptoms, all the way. But I got it in Canada, and it was awesome.
I'm honored that you got stage 2 hypothermia here.
Yeah, it wasn't anywhere near Vancouver. It was in Newfoundland. But that's okay.
Anywhere near here. Nobody goes swimming here. Ew.
So yeah, as far as distribution, it's got a thing. going to happen. You're going to see it all over the place. All the sites, there'll be like downloads and stuff. You'll be able to pay money, and hopefully I can get that money from you and give it to people who gave it to me, and then that would be awesome. So yes, that's happening, and you're going to love it. And you'll be like, and the Horror Honeys will have some sort of exclusive thing, I'm sure, at some point. They'll have codes or special signed editions of the DVD or something, because they're our best friends. So that's going to happen.
I think that's good. I want to talk to you later about sneak reading.
So, what is next?
Linnie, last question. Your lead character, our poor Ian, reminded her very much of the anti-Ferris Bueller. He was completely defeated and disinterested in his own life.
I love that you just said that. That just blew my whole mind up. That's the best you just said. Because it's totally right, except it's not Ferris Bueller. It's Parker Lewis. Do you guys remember Parker Lewis Can't Lose? Oh, yeah. What was he? Corey? What was his name? Fucking. Who?
Wasn't it Corey Namek?
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't Corey. It was. Oh man, he was on Stargate SG-1 for a couple episodes. Corin Nemec. It was Corin Nemec, and he was the coolest motherfucker. I wanted to be him so much. I wore 16 Swatch watches. It was the coolest thing. Oh my God. So yes, Ian B. Folliver. The B stands for Brady. Ian Folliver is the anti-Parker Lewis, because Parker Lewis can't lose, as you know, motherfucker. Ian Folliver is a loser. That's all he does is lose the whole time. He even fails at suicide, which is pretty shitty if you think about it.
Oh, man. Now, I know the answer to this second half of that question.
Oh, so you're setting me up.
I am. Okay. What led you to write a character like Ian?
Oh, do we have to get all depressed town now?
Not if you don't want to.
It's cool. It's cool. I'll go. I'll go right there for you, because Kat, I think you're amazing.
Aw.
So here you go. Check it out. I was in Los Angeles. Is this the story you want? The Los Angeles story?
Yeah, let's go.
Oh, this hurts. It's heart-rending, and I've told it 38 different times. Okay, so I'm in LA. It's the worst. See, when you go to LA, they do this thing. You think, oh, I'm going to go to LA. I'm 19, and it's going to be the coolest thing ever. I'm going to roll in, and they're just going to, like, Steven Spielberg is going to meet me at the border and, like, fucking award and be like, you said you were a filmmaker, and you're going to get stuff. So I went ahead and I saved up some money, shot over there. That money was immediately stolen from me, and it was the worst thing. It turns out there's this giant wall, okay? This fucking... It's built out of the broken dreams of youth. It's got blood and tears and sweat and anguish and hatred and solitude all built up in this giant wall. And it's ringed with these giant spikes, which are like networking for 10 years. And if you don't have the 10 years of networking, you can't get through the wall. And it's the worst thing ever. And when you get to the border, they check you for two things. They check you for fucking oranges, which is weird if you think about it. And then they check you for if you have any dreams. And if you do, they dash them against the wall, which adds a whole other layer to the wall. And it's the worst thing ever. Unless you're like rich and special and know somebody or went to like Caltech or something, then it's awesome, I'm sure. But for me, I'm from Detroit, and it was like the worst thing ever. So it was the worst. So I was having the worst time. I'd been on sets. I'd been like left in fields, and I couldn't eat, and I didn't have any money, and I didn't have any friends, and I got shot at this one time on the highway, and that was really weird. And I was staying with this Australian girl named, oh my God, Kat. Her name was Kat. Did you know that?
No.
This Australian girl named Kat. I was hanging out with her, and she kept having these Australian dudes coming. I wasn't renting like a room. I was renting just like a portion of a room, and it was like the worst thing. And she had this television that I wasn't allowed to touch, and if I did anything wrong, she wouldn't like deal with it right then. She'd just be like, we'll talk about it later. And it was the weirdest thing, and we never got till later. And it was so oh man, I used to sit there and like sneak out of the apartment and like watch television on her television. And I had this little notebook where I'd write down all the shittiest things. And I thought to myself, if this TV were to die, I would die. It would be the worst. And I wrote that down in a little book and then forgot about it for like ever. Then at one point I was teaching chess. I did this thing. There's like online. This is back in like 1999. So like online was this new, oh my God, this is the coolest thing. And this guy was like, you want to be my chess tutor? I'm like, sure, dude, I'll tutor the shit out of you at chess. I've got like a 1300 ELO. I'm amazing. They don't even use the ELO system anymore. So I guess I'm really not that amazing. I didn't really hold. So I went ahead and went to this meeting with this guy at a sushi restaurant to teach him chess, but he didn't have a chess set, and I didn't have a chess set, and he didn't want chess. He wanted dudes, and so that was weird. I was so hungry that I just kind of entertained it a little bit and just ate everything I could eat. I ate like a sushi boat, which was like the coolest thing, and then we ordered another sushi boat, and I ate both sushi boats. And then I explained to him that I wasn't, I was there for chess and not for dick, and that was weird to him too. So I then made it all the way to like the point in which he had to go to the bathroom, and he went to the bathroom, and he went into the bathroom, and he disappeared, and I ate his sushi too because I was so hungry. And then he comes out of the bathroom, and he's like stoned out of his mind, and I've never done a drug in my life, so I don't even know what degree or aspect of stone he was. He could have been, I don't know, heroined up or something. I always imagine it's some sort of black tar heroin because people say that and it means something bad. So it was pretty bad. He came out and sat down in front of me, and he's like, "Oh no, it's totally cool, man. It's totally cool." He leans forward. He's like, "You ever think maybe the cock in the bathroom is like talking to you, man?" And I was like, "Fuck no!" But I'm gonna write that down. Thank you very much for the sushi. And then I wrote it down in my little book of like hatred and pain. Because, by the way, I'm a teenager at this point. You write those little books of hatred and pain and shit when you're a teenager. Like, cut to whatever, 18 years later or 13 years later, and I'm like, oh man, I was pitching this physics movie, and it's going to be awesome. It's about physics and physicists, and this is like a sexual thriller about a guy who falls in love with the physics facility.
I'm sorry, a sexual thriller about physicists?
Oh yeah, he falls in love with the physicist. The physicist falls in love with the actual facilities and like sexually, like they have a relationship. It's really cool.
Oh man, I'd buy that for $1. I want to see that.
Gonna make it, so you're gonna see it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was pitched that one, and I couldn't get the money for it. I could get 1/4 of the money I needed for it, and they're like, "Do you have anything else?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, totally, of course I do." So I went back to this like book of hatred, or it's not really hatred, it's just book of ideas. And in this book of ideas, I found two things. I found single dude alone gonna die without his television. I thought, well, that'd be cheap, like one guy on a TV. And then I found this like, did your cock ever talk to you? And I was like, oh cool, talking cock. I could probably make that work. And then I got to thinking.
No,
and then I started,
hold on a second. This isn't talking cock. This is talking caulk with an L.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, caulk.
Good.
Sorry,
okay,
caulk.
good.
Caulk. I'm in Boston, but I don't sound like a Bostonite. I'm from Seattle, so I'm not actually from Seattle. I'm from Detroit, but I'm in Seattle. Not right now, though. I'm in Boston. Oh my God. So listen, check it out. This is what happened. I took those two ideas, and then I was like, but those are so depressing. I was like, wouldn't it be the coolest thing on earth to like revisit those ideas, but as like a 30-year-old? Like those dumb ideas you have, like, if this TV died, I would die. Well, okay, let's make something cool of that. Let's make like a future out of that. Let's make a cool film that other people will get stuff out of that. And I just figured that had a lot more push than like, dude, listen, it's about lesbians and it's amazing and they're in the field. Like, no. This is because I've never been a lesbian, so I can't really relate to that. I can totally relate to this. And I can tell you every single screening I've gone to, all but like 2 or 3, somebody has come up and said, listen, are you or was anybody in your family depressed? And I know that in that time I was depressed. So yeah. And they're like, listen, I suffer from depression, and you have painted an unbelievable picture at the beginning of this film of what it's like what it feels like to be super depressed. And I was like, that's amazing, because that's totally how I felt. And I really think that we're sharing something. So to think that that thing that happened, that depression when I was like 19 or whatever, like that turned into some sort of value to somebody later, that is genius. That's not my genius. That's like the world genius, like, things crashing into each other in physics and all that. That's that kind of genius. That's a beautiful thing to me. So yeah, that's it. Kat, you got the story out of me again.
I know. I love it. Thank you. Actually, than the last Olympics.
So
Yeah, hi. So the next thing is for you to tell me about your new projects. What are you working on now?
Right now, articles in the can. I've got one of them is being edited by this in-house editor that we just picked up, and one of them is being in the post. It's in the final page. Excuse me, I just belched fish taco. The final thing is post-production by my post-production supervisor. So one of them is going to come out on Adult Swim pretty soon. You'll see it. Another one will come out on the interwebs pretty soon. You will see that as well. That's a zombie one. It's pretty cool. It's like, imagine Mad Max meets zombies meets like slapstick comedy.
Sweet.
So there's that. Then there's this feature that we're shooting starting in May, which is for Frictional Games. I think I'm not supposed to say anything, but it's on IMDb, so I'm pretty sure It's a sci-fi horror film that takes place within a giant facility where there may or may not be sort of quasi-amok AI and robots that think they're people and crazy creatures that have come from the sea and all kinds of neat, awesome, crazy stuff that will definitely have the Don Thacker / Imagos Films touch to it. There's lots of puking in the movie. Which a guy pukes a gallon of viscous fluid, drinks another gallon, and throws that up as well.
Oh, God. All right. This one, it's called Death.
The film is called Death, yes. Okay. And I can tell you, though I can't officially say anything, Frictional Games, the company who's backing the film, is also releasing a science fiction horror game in 2015 that takes place in a facility where there might be a rogue AI or something, and robots that think they're people, and crazy creatures, and all that kind of stuff. So they may or may not be related. I don't know. I'm just making a movie over here.
I think that's awesome. Now, it says here that Adrian, did you who was Ian is rumor? Is that rumor true?
I actually put that on IMDb.
You bastard.
Yeah, no, he's in it. He's in it if he can be in it. There's been some schedule questions, but I asked him if he's interested, and he is super interested. We love working. So, like, it was an instant yes for both of us, except for scheduling. So, if scheduling comes through, then dude's going to be on it for sure. Everybody else who's on it has already signed stuff or shaking hands or kissed babies or whatever people do these days.
That's awesome. Okay, so I cut us off here so you can get back to your food and nobody has to come check on you again, which is really cute that they came to check on you.
They're sitting right here, actually, in front of me. We've lost one of the party members, but the rest of them are here, which means I can determine who my real friends are. I'm sitting through these people. I have got Alex from Robot Loves Kitty. I'm going to go down the line now.
Okay.
She what? No? Oh, but the blacksmith is going to run away. I'm only going to him as the blacksmith, by the way, as he is underage. I got Alex from Robot Loves Kitty here. We hung out and had dinner, and apparently somebody paid for me, which makes me feel very, very, very uncomfortable. Vanessa from Imagos Films. She is a writer-director herself and is editing one of those commercials I was talking about. We have Calvin from Robot Loves Kitty. It seems funny because I'm like walking down them as I'm showing them on a video thing, but I'm just talking. And then we have a blacksmith, which is it's her younger brother. In fact, I can't say his name on the radio.
Oops, but we just did.
That's a real thing. He's wondering why I'm saying this. And it's just to make him feel a little uncomfortable as I touch his inner thigh. That happened in real life. Okay, so what is next? Is that it?
Oh, my God.
Ready?
We're almost done. Don't go anywhere yet. Do you have anyone that you want to say a shout out to before we go?
The horrorhoneys are amazing.
Oh, man.
All of the collaborators and people who started and continue to support Imagos Films, of course.
Of course.
Of course. Everybody at PAX East 2014 is not listening to the Canadian radio right now. They're probably all asleep. So those people, that was pretty awesome. I don't really know. I don't do the shout-out thing. It's normally, you'd have to be, I don't know. Like, that's weird. That confers some sort of value on me. Like, me saying a name would mean something.
You on my show is value. Give me a...
Okay, cat, whatever. You sleep in my living room. It's fine.
I know.
It's fine. So let me see. I would like to shout out. I like to toss mad shouts to Darren Aronofsky, the D-Man. He did a good job on that Noah movie. I would like to throw a mad shout to Scorsese. That's my jam. I don't know. I can't shout people out. What am I going to shout out?
So if someone wanted to find Imagos Films online, where would they go?
ImagosFilms.com, ImagosFilms.tumblr.com, @ImagosFilms on Twitter. Let's see, what else do we have? We have cool stuff. There's a Flickr account that has some cool stuff for Motivational Growth on it, so look at that up on Flickr. I'm pretty sure we're going to launch an Instagram soon to do a bunch of stuff on it. That's pretty cool. If you want to find me directly, I'm Skinny Ty. Go to skinnyty.com. We'll just send you to skinnyty.tumblr.com because all I do is Tumblr because, man, I do not have time to blog. Skinny Ty, the @Skinny Ty at Twitter will get you to me as well. Awesome. Just search my name. I've had the same handle / domain name since 1994. So put my name in the Googles and you'll get some landscaping dude who's seriously moving in on my Google property and me. That landscaping dude, I think he's paying money. He's outreaching me and all he does is cut lawns. Actually, I'm pretty sure it's pretty great if his name's all over the place.
Oh, man. And also on Twitter, you can follow The Mold.
Yeah, _mold.
The_mold. And you can also follow Motivational Growth.
Yeah, it's Mot Growth, MOTGROWTF, TTH. That's not a thing. Yeah.
Growth.
I think I will have made it when you can search me and that landscaping guy isn't there anymore.
When he's on the third page of Google, then you'll have made it.
Right, then you'll know I did it. I did a thing.
All right, Don, well, don't you go anywhere. So I'm going to, what am I going to say? You can find the Horror Honeys podcast on Podomatic, on Stitcher, on Radio Fubar, live like we are right now on Sunday nights at 5 p.m. PST, 8 p.m. EST. You can find us on the Wicked Radio Network, and we love the Wicked Radio Network. I want to thank our producer, Honey Matt, who is from the Wicked Radio Network and is a badass motherfucker, if I do say so myself. You can find Horror Honeys at thehorrorhoneys.com. You can talk to us on Twitter at Horror Honeys, HORRORHONEYS. You can talk to the Revenge Honey because she has a voice on Twitter, if not right now, at Linnie Loohoo, LINNIELOOWHO. And Miss Lisa, where can we find you?
On Twitter at LCFREMONT.
Awesome. And you can also find Lisa's articles and reviews on horrorwriters.net. That's HORROR-writers.net. What else do I want to say? Yeah, that's it for us. Let's all say goodbye, everybody. 1, 2, 3. Goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody.
I love to take my baby to a movie show so I can try to smooch her while the lights are low. But she won't cuddle to a story of romance. There's only one way I've got a chance. It takes the Batman, Wolfman,